From the Gospel of St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, beginning at the 13th verse. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how will it become salty again? It's good for nothing except to be thrown away and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city on the top of a hill can't be hidden, neither do people put a lamp under a basket. Instead, they put it on top of a lampstand, and it shines on all who are in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before people, so that they can see your good works and praise your Father who is in heaven. When you think about it, it's not much of a metaphor to begin with. Salt, just tiny little grains of salt. How much power does that have? And yet, everybody who cooks knows the difference that a pinch of salt can make in a recipe. You're the light of the world. That sounds great when it talks about a city on a hill, but he goes on to describe it as a candle. Really, how much influence does one candle have? Well, if during a hurricane you've been without power, you know the difference that one candle can make. Jesus clearly is saying that what matters is not the size of our capacity or the magnitude of our work, but it is found in the small things that ultimately make a big difference. The ordinary things that by the Spirit of God become an extraordinary gift to someone else. Years ago, I came across a poem by Bonero Overstreet that has been one of the really guiding words of my life ever since. She wrote the poem, this is the subtitle, "To one who doubts the worth of doing anything if you can't do everything." I'm one of those people who doubts the worth of doing anything if you can't do everything. So here's what she writes. You say the little efforts I make will do no good. They will never prevail to tip the hovering scale where justice hangs in the balance. I don't think I ever thought they would. But I am prejudiced beyond debate in favor of my right to choose which side shall feel the stubborn ounces of my weight. Sometimes that's all we have. Stubborn ounces. Not a ton, not even pounds, just ounces. Like grains of salt or a single candle. Will my gifts ultimately tilt the balance of justice in the world? Probably not. But you and I have the right to choose. Which side will feel the stubborn ounces of our weight? When I remember that poem, I think of friends who, back in the 60s, were very active in a Christian community in Washington, involved in the movements for civil rights, the peace movement during the Vietnam War. There was a prayer that they used as their benediction in that congregation every week. Let me share it with you as my challenge and benediction for my life and yours as well. O Christ, who sets us in accord with and in opposition to our brothers and sisters and the structures of society. As we go out to shoulder the burden of our task this week, may we pour our whole lives into the mission, regardless of outside opposition or inner weariness or frustration, regardless of suffering or condemnation. Grant us the tenacity that we may not let go until the final battle is over, and nonchalance, for the final battle does not depend upon us. May we act with power as if the destiny of all life depended on us, but with detachment, knowing that nothing we do lasts forever. Amen.